Thank you for joining us for True Self Tools, Confidence, Calm, and Connection. We're enhancing self worth, cultivating emotional resilience, and promoting healthy relationships, all while encouraging a spirit of collaboration. As you all know, True Self Tools is brought to you by Images, where we are imparting motivation, achieving goals, and expecting success each and every day. As your facilitator, Sienna Seiler, I would just like to welcome each and every one of you to the True Self Tools workshop. Also, feel free to join us for any of the other workshops that we hold here at Images, as we have an array of workshops, programs, and services that are geared toward assisting the community members with different life skills, emotional wellness. Healthy living is always the focus. My professional background spans through wellness coaching, trauma informed mentoring, and holistic outreach. So I am known for creating safe, growth centered spaces that prioritize truth, accountability, and practical healing. You all are welcome to read this particular portion. I'm not going to go through that whole screen because many of you are already familiar with who I am. Those of you who are not familiar, again, you are free to read this in your own, in moments where you have some space available to do so. But we are going to proceed along with the workshop as of right now. All right, so what we're going to discover today is releasing the performance trap. And the objective here is to help participants recognize and release the subconscious urge to prove their worth through performance, perfectionism, or people pleasing. Now, with releasing the performance trap, this is all about freeing yourself from the pressures to perform. We're going to step out of performance and into authenticity. You're going to free yourself from your own mind and the thoughts that you have within that kind of hold you in this performance trap. And we're going to discuss how that happens from person to person and the different situations that can cause one to kind of be trapped in this particular performance cycle. So for this is day 2 of the True Self Tools program. And as we are getting ready to start this particular day of releasing the performance trap, I do want to talk to you about what today's focus is, what we're going to be exploring, what we're going to be focused on, and the tools that we'll use. So today's focus is shifting from performance to presence and awareness. All right? We're going to focus on shifting from performing to presence and awareness. We're going to explore today how the urge to perform, perfect, or people please forms early and subtly controls behavior. We're going to talk about how performing disconnects you from your true identity and authenticity. We're going to talk about why authenticity creates more safety, clarity, and connection than performance ever could. And we'll also learn how to identify your personal performance triggers so that you can begin releasing those things. The only way to correct something is being honest about, where you stand with the situation. And in that honesty, you're then able to move towards something that is more suited for your highest and greatest good. Also, we have an intention for today. You guys know that I am big on breathing and centering stillness and rewiring our brains. So we do have an intention for today where we will be practicing our deep breaths and we will recite the intention. The intention is I release the pressure to perform and I am safe to show up fully as myself. I release the pressure to perform and I am safe to show up fully as myself. Now, the tools that we'll be using for this workshop presentation today, we have this short teaching video, as we do with all of the True Self Tools presentations. We have this short teaching video of releasing the performance trap. We have a guided journal exercise to help you reflect and reconnect. You can create your own affirmations of self-worth, free from external validation. And this is a calm, judgment-free space for honesty and self-awareness. This matters because you are not here to perform for love, respect, or belonging. You are here to embody the truth of who you are with calm, confidence, and connection. So, yes, I, Ciara, am providing you a space to do so. So, welcome to day 2 of the True Self Tools, which is releasing the performance trap. All right, today we embark on the journey of releasing the roles and pressures that compel us to be someone that we're not, just to feel loved, secure, and accepted. Now, this session warmly encourages you to identify where you've been performing rather than being. This session also helps you to understand the origins of these performance patterns. All right, remember, this is all about correcting any areas in which we need improvement. We're going to recognize their impact on your self-worth and begin the gentle yet powerful journey to letting them go. All right? So here we're focusing on this because many of us carry silently the pressure to perform. And that pressure might show up as needing to appear strong or needing to be perfect, needing to keep everyone around you happy, or needing to earn approval, even if it means hiding what you really feel. So this habit doesn't make you weak, but it just means that you learn to survive in an environment that rewarded performance rather than presence. So today we begin to unlearn that. And we release the burden of performance because you are safe to show up fully as yourself. So we're going to breathe deeply today and embrace presence over performance. You have to know that you are enough just as you are. You are more than enough. By original design, you were created to be awesome, and that you are. So now, our daily intention for today, again, remember I stated that we were going to take some deep breaths to center ourselves and rewire mentally. Reading this intention, let me go back to it. Reading this intention out loud so that you're able to, 1, activate this within your atmosphere. 2, hear yourself saying it, which will give you some positive self-talk. A lot of people deal with negative self-talk sometimes. So when you hear yourself saying this, it's going to give you some positive self-talk, all right? So breathe deeply and exhale. In through your nose, out through your mouth. We're going to do this 3 times. So inhale, in through your nose. Exhale, out through your mouth. 3, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now, I release the pressure to perform. I am safe to show up fully as myself. I'm going to say it again, and I want you to repeat after me. You ready? I release the pressure to perform, and I am safe to show up fully as myself. Okay? All right? There's no need to have to force anything because this is not about exposing yourself. It's about reclaiming yourself. There was nothing lost. There was nothing broken. There was a lot to remember. A lot was covered up. And right now we are in the process of discovering what has been covered up for so long. And we're going to make sure that we're being fully present because it doesn't require perfection to do so. It just requires you to give yourself permission to be you, your most authentic version. All right? So we have 3 daily intentions that we're going to focus on for today. Number 1, we're going to welcome progress and not perfection. We're going to let go of the need for flawless results and rejoice in the steps we've taken forward. Number 2, we're going to embrace self-compassion and acceptance. We're going to treat ourselves and others kindly, challenge those negative thoughts, and nurture a positive self-image. Number 3, we're going to embrace your own unique purpose and value from within, trusting in your own worth instead of looking for external validation. Recognize your intrinsic value without needing external approval. Everything begins within. You have everything you need already within you to be everything that you need to be. All right? So we're going to step away from the performance trap today and rediscover our freedom. We're embracing who we are, we're nurturing self-acceptance, and we're cultivating meaningful connections. This way we can find joy far beyond any type of external validation and understand that true self-worth is rooted and established in your identity and the positive impact that you create for yourself and for others. So let's begin your journey to transform your life today. Now, what is the performance trap, right? So the performance trap is when we start to believe that we must do more or be more or prove ourselves in order to be seen, valued, or loved. It's not always loud because sometimes it'll show up quietly in how we overwork or how we smile when we're not okay, or even how we avoid sharing our needs with others. This isn't who you are. It's who you were taught that you had to be. Many of us have gone through different traumas and situations that have caused us to be in a survival mode or caused us to cope with, whatever we perceive our ality or reality to be in some cases, but whatever we perceive our ality to be. And let me just make a note here. Instead of saying reality, I will say ality, just so you guys know and can follow along with, what I'm saying. Needless to say, the performance trap is when you feel that you must prove your worth by being perfect or constantly achieving, hiding weaknesses, releasing others at the expense, pleasing others at the expense of your own self or your own needs or what you want, okay? When that people-pleasing syndrome that a lot of people have. The performance trap often stems from a fear of rejection or feelings of inadequacy, but recognizing this is a step towards growth and healing. Again, we're not calling these things out in any way of judgment or to make anyone feel bad, right? These are empowerment workshops. So even though we may be speaking of some things that you may not feel, is where it needs to be or may be considered a bad habit, we are recognizing these things so that we can step forward towards growth and healing, okay? When our sense of self is tied to performance, it can feel burdensome. So to find freedom, we need to consciously reject the belief that we must earn acceptance or love, as these things should be given freely. No one should be out here trying to earn love or respect from anybody. Even though I know that society has kind of warped things and distorted the minds of people to make you feel like, to make some feel like others must prove themselves to them. We should be existing as who we are. It should be about reciprocation, yes, but as far as like proving yourself to somebody for love or the ability to fit in, that's just not the way to be. Okay? So, where does the performance trap come from? Now, this is a habit that forms pretty early through messages that you may have heard in childhood, like be a good girl, or don't cry, make us proud, be strong, or even like don't embarrass the family. Because I know some people have heard that going to, in-laws or a relative's house. So we begin to internalize these messages and start living to meet them, even when they no longer fit who we are. Sometimes we learn to perform to avoid punishment, rejection, or abandonment. But performance is not peace. So today we start to let that go. There are different childhood messages, make us proud. There are also cultural pressures to be polished, productive, and picture perfect. You have social media and this whole comparison culture. And then trauma or neglect can also add to this performance trap situation where it leads to hyper independence and constant approval seeking. All right. So, understanding that all underlying causes is, again, this understanding is essential to sidestepping the performance pitfalls, nurturing a culture of continuous growth and development. So, again, we're building an understanding because it's necessary in order for us to be able to make the necessary changes, right? Sometimes we internalize messages and start living to meet them even after they don't even fit us anymore, okay? Performance is not peace. So today we start to let it go. We're going to step into the now. We've survived all of the the things that we had to get through. Now is the time that we exist in abundance and thriving, okay? We're not focusing on survival, all right? We're focusing on living while we are able to do so and living fully, having an experience that is true to exactly who it is that we are, okay? So let's talk about some signs where you may be in performance mode, because we have to be aware of when we might be in performance mode and recognize these signs as opportunities for growth and understanding, all right? We have to be honest with ourselves here, and I want you to let me know if any of these sound familiar. Smiling when you're hurting, avoiding rest because it feels lazy, feeling anxious when you aren't in control, always trying to keep the peace even when you are not at peace, right? I think a lot of people sometimes downplay their needs to keep the peace. That's a big one. What about apologizing for having needs or feeling guilty for resting or setting boundaries? Or feeling like you're like on, even around the people that you love, right? So if you saw yourself in any of these examples, first of all, you are not alone because these are habits. And the great thing about habits is that habits can absolutely be changed. And that is what we're learning about this for, so that we can change. Now, let's examine why it is harmful to be stuck in this performance trap and the negative impact that entails being stuck there. All right. When we live in performance mode, it disconnects us from our real emotions, our real voice, and real connections with others. It creates exhaustion and loneliness and the feeling that no one at all really sees us because we're not showing up as us, all right? We're showing up as a version of us. So anytime you're not really being, you're not standing in your truth, there's always going to be some form of disconnect. You may be dealing with, this buildup of emotional exhaustion. You're distancing yourself from your true self, your authenticity. It makes authentic connections nearly impossible, and it reinforces the false idea that love must be earned. All right? So as we shift to presence instead of performing, we're looking at the alternative. All right? So now what is the alternative? Presence. Like I said, we're shifting to presence. You don't need to perform. You can be real. And here are a few ways to practice that. Okay? Let yourself say, I don't know. Let yourself be quiet without guilt. Let yourself speak up without rehearsing. And let yourself stop performing and just be present. All right? So instead of saying, how can I impress so and so? Try, how can I be present? Instead of saying, what do they want me to say? Try saying, what do I actually feel? Of course, we're going to have text. We're not out here just being mean-hearted either, but we are being true and authentic. Now, if your true, authentic self is hard-hearted, which I absolutely doubt, well, maybe some people are. However, then working on the heart posture would be something else that you would want to do as well. Everybody has room for improvement in all areas, okay? So, the pressure to achieve success can be overwhelming. Yet, there's a movement that's urging us to embrace presence. And this is it. Being fully present nurtures fulfillment and connection, allowing us to appreciate our journey and find balance. By focusing on presence, we blend our goals with mindfulness, valuing quality over quantity, and this shift opens us up to new insights, it fosters creativity, and it brings peace. All right? So, remember, there's a simple shift that will bring us into the present where we can replace performing and we can exist in presence and just be. So instead of worrying about who other people want you to be, look at what is true for you right now. Presence doesn't mean being loud, it means being honest. And honesty is enough. All right? So, our self affirmation for today is I am worthy even when I am still. I am safe to be seen as I am. All right? It's all right to say I don't know. You can be quiet without feeling guilty. You can allow yourself to speak up without rehearsing. You can let yourself stop performing and be present. All right? Just be present. You don't need to perform. You can be real. All right? So we also have I am capable. Say those things to yourself. Think positive. Know that your best is enough. Know that you are worthy. You can use those affirmations or you can make your own. When you're making your own, just put I am worthy. I am capable. I am enough. I am courageous. You know, use whatever fits your space and situation at the time. And it's just a way of fortifying yourself again in your mind with positive self talk and activating in the atmosphere the things that you speak out of your mouth. Okay? Just remember, as you speak this, I am worthy, even when I am still. I am safe to be seen as I am. Remember, this is not about hype. This is about honor. Okay? Now, our closing thought for today. Remember that you were designed to be uniquely you. Embrace your genuine self and resist letting outside influences diminish your true essence. Accept your true self by honoring your genuine feelings and desires. Step into your most authentic self. All right? Again, it's not about hype, it's about honor. Honor the authentic you. Honor your genuine feelings and desires. All right? Your most authentic version of you is waiting for you to live in that as opposed to survival mode. Survival mode is not your most authentic self. Survival mode was just a way of coping with whatever happened, a way for you to keep going. The true you is waiting. And as you all know, with each workshop, we do have a quiz. Some of you are some of you are on the platform where the quiz is interactive, so you can actually pick your answer. If you are not on that particular platform, it's perfectly fine. You are still able to see what the answer is, so I want you to go along with the quiz anyway. All right. We also will have, with these 5-question quiz, these are just reflections. We're also going to have a writing assignment for some of you where you will identify 2 real-life moments today or in the most recent past when you've noticed yourself slipping into performance mode. And I would like those of you who have to do the assignment to create a personal affirmation that reminds you that you don't have to earn your value. Because today is about releasing what no longer serves you and remembering who you are underneath the performance. All right? So let's move into the quiz for releasing the performance trap. All right, so question 1. What is the performance trap? All right. It is a multiple choice. You have A, a technique for improving communication. B, a self-defense mechanism based on fear of failure. C, a pattern of behavior where people act in ways to earn love, safety, or acceptance. And D, an emotional strategy used in high-achieving families. So what answer do you pick? If you're on the interactive platform, pick your answer and press submit. If you are not on the interactive platform, again, that is perfectly fine. Either way, you will see the correct answer. The correct answer for question 1 was C. The performance trap is a pattern of behavior where people act in ways to earn love, safety, and acceptance. Okay? The performance trap is when someone feels that they must act right, achieve or meet others' expectations in order to be worthy of love, safety, or approval. Remember, there's somebody trying to earn love, acceptance, approval, any of that stuff. We don't do that. Okay, those things. If you're in a space where those things, or in a group or a network or within your sphere, if those things are not given freely, find you some other places to be and people to see. Okay? Because that should be given freely. Question number 2. Which of the following is a common sign that you're in performance mode? Option A, feeling peaceful and present. B, always saying yes to avoid disappointing others. C, taking regular breaks to rest. D, setting clear personal boundaries. All right? Again, if you're on the interactive site, select your answer. If you're not on the interactive site, that is fine. We're still going to go over the correct answer. All right. So for question 2, the correct answer is B. Always saying yes to avoid disappointing others. All right. The common sign that you're in performance mode is always saying yes to avoid disappointing others. So people in performance mode often struggle to say no because they fear rejection or being seen as a failure or a disappointment. Again, if you are in any place, space, or around any group of people where you have to earn acceptance, approval, fitting in, any of that, that's the wrong space to be. All right? If someone rejects you or looks at you as a failure or a disappointment, baby, those are not your people. Just remember that. Okay? Question 3. What is the root cause of the performance trap? A, healthy discipline. Rebellion in childhood is B. C, early emotional neglect or unrealistic expectations. Or D, lack of formal education. All right. If you chose option C for question 3, then you are correct. The root cause of the performance trap is early emotional neglect or unrealistic expectations. Many performance behaviors begin in childhood when love, attention, or acceptance felt conditional on achievements, behavior, or appearances. All right. Question 4. What is one key to breaking free from the performance trap? Option A, learning how to hide your true feelings better. Option B, proving your worth to others. Option C, practicing authentic self-acceptance and self-awareness. Or option D, increasing your productivity. All right, so question number 4, the correct answer is option C. One key to breaking free from the performance trap is practicing authentic self-acceptance and self-awareness. Healing from performance mode requires reconnecting with your true self, accepting your worth, and noticing when you are striving to earn love rather than live in truth. And last but not least, we have question 5. Which statement reflects someone who has begun releasing the need to perform? Option A, I have to be perfect or they won't respect me. Option B, if I make a mistake, I'll be rejected. Option C, I'm learning to show up as I am, not who others want me to be. Or option D, I can't relax until everyone approves of me. All right, if you selected option C, then you are correct. For question 5, which statement reflects someone who has begun releasing the need to perform? And that is, I am learning to show up as I am, not who others want me to be. Now, this statement reflects emotional growth, self-acceptance, and the willingness to let go of and release that external validation, right? Because again, everything begins within you. That's where it starts. So I would like to thank you all for joining us for today's session of True Self Tools. Of course, Images, Imparting Motivation, Achieving Goals, and Expecting Success is the host and sponsor of the True Self Tools, Confidence, Calm, and Connection. I am Ciata Seiler, your facilitator, and we would like to give you our appreciation for joining us for today. Remember that the True Self Tool workshop will be continuing. So make sure that you join us for future workshops, not even only True Self Tools, but for all of the other workshops that and programs and services that Images provides. If you have any questions or comments, we love to hear from you. You can email us at imagesgso@gmail.com. You can also call us at 336-528-4833. And again, that's call and text. A lot of times it is better to text us because we may be out in the field, right? When we are doing our work, we're not sitting around looking at the phone waiting on somebody to call. So for the quickest response, you want to text or email, okay? If you happen to call and leave a message, the message will be returned back to you within 72 hours. If you need a faster response, make sure you do seek out that communication and discourse with us in writing, either an email or a text. Again, you can find us on social media at ImagesGSO, on Facebook, as well as Instagram. All right. Well, that will be all for today. Again, I would like to thank you all for your participation, and we will see you again on the next workshop. You all have a great remainder of your day.